Okay, I'm out here at the Mons Jones house and the Michael Phelps house at a place called Morlatton Village in Douglasville. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the different buildings here. There's 2 buildings here. There's 4 buildings total in this village. These 2, and then up this road are the other 2, and we'll get to those when I get up there. What I'm going to do is I'll show you each of those, each of the plaques, I should say. Tell you just a little bit of it, but I'll leave it focused on there long enough for you to pause it and be able to read it yourself. And then I'll tell you what is going on at this place. So we're going to start with the Michael Phelps house. And Michael Phelps house is circa 1783. They're thinking it was built from what they found. It was built for a guy named Michael Phelps who lived from 1743 to 1803. And it was, like I said, built around 1783. You can read all that about him. You can see some of the pictures are what it looked like pre-restoration and during restoration. That picture right there is pre-restoration around 1965. This one here is during restoration of the wall in 2010, 2011. You get the original fireplace and the lintel there. And just a lot of interesting facts on here. That's the house itself. Take you around that before we take a look at the other dwellings. This is the back side of the house. And if you could tell, right under that window, this house has a basement. And the reason why I say that is because basements are a common thing, you would think, but the Mons Jones house over there does not have signs of a basement. It's a dirt floor with brick on top. Now they are going to do a dig where they pull up some of the brick and find if there was a crawl space at least. Now this is the side of the building that had that restoration. And this whole side was gone. And that's what it looks like now. You can get access inside the buildings from now until October, every Wednesday from 9 to 12 and Saturday from 9 to 12, because they do an archaeological dig here. And I'll show you those spots as we go. And inside this building is pretty much where all that equipment's stored. And this is like almost like the archaeological headquarters inside this building. We continue around. That is the Schuylkill River straight down over there. And I'll tell you about that in a moment. This is the front of the Michael Phelps house. You can see, very simplistic. Door, window, basement access. That's the front of it. Inside, it's just a single fireplace and an open floor, which would have consisted of kitchen and dining room, basically. The second floor would have been the bedroom. Not like what we have today, no living rooms, nothing like that. They would have just sat on the first floor, slept on the second. So, take you down here. Now, that road there that I pointed up when we first got here, if you look carefully where that center post is, or the one marking the walkway, straight down where I'm at now, right through that little opening used to be a covered bridge that went over to 724 on the other side of the river. Completely removed now. This talks about it. Riverside Settlement and the covered bridge. Let's see. Yeah, lots of damage done to it over the years. This picture up here, you can see that's the Michael Phelps house, and you can see where the road went. That's in 1936. 2-lane covered bridge. So it did go up a slope. Mid-20th century of the interior of the bridge is right there. And 1951, August 16th, that's during the dismantlement of the bridge. March 2011, down in this photo, you can see that this area gets a lot of flooding. The Mons Jones house is on the left, Michael Phelps house on the right. You can see restoration stuff going on there. But yeah, that was the bridge. Went right across there. Alright, now we're going to walk back, take a look at the different stuff of the Mons Jones house. I'm going to head to the plaque first before I take you around. And like I said, this here, right about here, would have been the old roadway. This area here, if you remember the photo, just off the Michael Phelps house, right about here, straight that way. Up into this area was the bridge. At least from the picture. I apologize for the long walk. They got this one all the way over here so you can get a good view. Okay, this is the Mons Jones house. As you can see, it was built in 1716, but it was not the first house here. I'll show you the location of the first house. It is the oldest documented house in Berks County, as you can see right there. It also shows you a 1911 view of the house from the covered bridge ramp. So that kind of tells you roughly where the ramp was as well. Had a concave corner fireplace, which I'll kind of show you where it was. And right down here is the pre-restoration view circa 1948. And it does have an original cooking fireplace and lintel in that as well. That is the house. This is the back of the house. It does have 2 fireplaces. And I'll show you the house first before I show you the archaeological stuff going on here. And there's some more over there. This house is currently under restoration as well on the inside. It does have the brick floor, but the second floor is not there. The rafters are there. And the inside is under restoration. I will put in the description of the video, the links and whatnot to the Heritage Group and the Berks County Preservation Society and whatnot that deals with this. They're currently restoring the 2 other buildings that are here that we have not seen yet. All 4 buildings are constantly under renovation, but they own a total of 8 buildings, 4 here and 4 at another site. So they got to divide the money up and things like that. So I'm going to give you a walk around. We're going to go that direction so I can show you everything as we come around, and we'll finish here. This is the back of the house. That there on the corner of the house, that is a bake oven. And that is the corner fireplace on the inside that you've seen the picture of. So that's a pretty neat thing that they could bake. It had an attached bake oven inside the house. So you know these people had wealth. The side of the building, no windows on this side. We'll get to the front in a moment. Over here, underneath that white tarp right here is an old, it's not big, but it's an old stone-lined well. That was the well for the home. And right next to it needs to be stabilized. They have stonemasons coming in, and I think they would like to restore it, at least stabilize it for view. That is the root cellar for the home. So the root cellar and the well are right there. They did do excavations there. I don't know if they're going to do any more. Front of the house is here. Like I said, that's where the bridge was. Now this here, I don't know if this is where the actual garden was, but this was set up like most of the historic places with period flowers, plants, vegetables. As you can see, it needs work from the winter. This is one of the archaeological digs or spots. Like I said, you can come down every Wednesday and Saturday to see what's going on. They believe this was a dump pit. They've found stuff that, I guess, broken pottery, things like that, that advertise it as a dump pit. This is the front of the house. As you can see, it was just 4 windows and a door. But if you take a look up there, neat little headpiece they have up there. I'm on a GoPro, so I don't know if I can zoom in. No, I'm not gonna mess with it. But that's a neat little thing. I'll go back to the plaque because I think they have a zoomed in view. But that is original to the house. Around the corner here is also Archaeological Spots. Real quick, they dug this up here. They believe it's part of the bridge embankment that was going up. That when they got rid of all that and took the bridge out, they think they just rolled it in. So as of right now, up in this area, that's the only part of the bridge that's left, unless you get in the water down there and find pieces in the water. But on land, that's the only piece of the bridge that they believe is left that they've found. This is another open pit that they started digging. They have not found anything out of this one yet, as they just opened it last Saturday from when I'm taking the video. Today is, since I did not say it, today is April 19th, 2021. So last Saturday they opened this pit. And this is another one they're currently digging at. This is what it looks like after winter. So they need to get in and clean this up. And you can come down, like I said, come down here, help out, get your hands dirty if you want to try your hand at digging. They'll teach you some stuff, and they'll show you some of the things they've been finding. So try not to step on stuff. Okay. Well, that's these buildings. So, like I said, that was the bridge. So that was a main road at one point. Here you go. Zoomed in view. That is what is above the door. Basically tells you when it was built. 1716. And I believe, this was a woodcut rendering of what was up there, but this is what it says. I don't remember what the IMI stands for. I'll look that up and I'll put that in the description as well. But that's that. Like I said, it's neat. It's basically a dead-end road now that just comes down to the homes. But that used to be the original road. If you can kind of see the building at the end, that is the next building we're going to be going to. So I'm going to shut it off as I walk down there, and I will talk to everyone soon. Okay, here we are up at the next house. This is the George Douglas house, built in 1765. Here you go, so you can pause and read at your own leisure. This is a 1931 view of the one-story addition, which is right there. Root cellar beneath the root cellar beneath the smoke chamber in the one-story addition. So that is under there somewhere. Alright, you can pause this at your leisure and read. But George Douglas, this was pretty much a country manor. George Douglas was a prominent member of the community, and he was appointed in 1764 the Justice of the Peace for Amity and the vicinity around Amity Township here. He was the captain of the Amity Legion during the Revolutionary War. Just so you know, I'm kind of Cliff Notes sort of deal off the thing. This was basically a general store. Was the addition there, and that part of the building right here was the general store. The rest of it, I believe, was the home. So we're going to take a walk around. Excuse me. This building, they are currently doing renovations on. As you can see right there, it looks like they're putting a porch back on. Porch rafters there. But, like I said, outside of Douglasville right now. Right over there is the Perkiomen Trail, running along an old railroad bed. I do not know what all they had here building-wise. As you can see, there are some ruins right there. I don't know if that was an outdoor kitchen or like I'm not sure what that was. I haven't really spoken to anybody about these buildings. I've been staying down at the Mons Jones and the Michael Phelps house. Back up a little bit here. This is the back of the buildings. It's back of the one-story addition, the back of the general store area, and the back of the manor. And that goes down to the root cellar down in there. Like I said, currently doing renovations on this building. This building does house some of the Historical Society's events, is what I'm going to say. And this is the path to get to the Perkiomen Trail. Perkiomen Trail? Schuylkill River Trail. I'm sorry, the Schuylkill River Trail. And parking is right down in front of this building. You can see way up top there is where the dedication plate, I'm going to say was. Basically, that tells you who built it and the year it was built. It is damaged and or gone. To me, it looks damaged from here. But it could have been taken off and removed. Like I said, this is the other side of that road that leads down to the Michael Phelps house and the Mons Jones house. This road here, Old Philadelphia Pike, I believe it is. Basically, it's what was 422. 422 is now on that side, as we all know it today. This is the original colonial road that went into Pottstown. It went that way, and it went that way, until it connected back up to the current 422. As you can see how narrow it is, it would not work for today's traffic. And right there's the parking for the trail access. This is the Morlatton Village trailhead, if you want to know. So, that is the front of the building. Like I said, they're currently putting in what looks like a little porch overhang, which was originally there. They're just putting it back. And I'll show you this sign here as well, just, so it's on. But yep, Morlatton Trailhead. Same thing here. Tells you a little bit about it. And this tells you about Morlatton Village here. Where the covered bridge was, it was originally a ford on the Schuylkill River. Then they, of course, built bridges and stuff. So you can read that, tell you a little bit more. So, there you go. Okay, we're going to walk along the road here to the next and final building, which is right there. That is the White Horse Tavern. I'm sure many of you have heard of the Black Horse Tavern, but this was the White Horse Tavern. Lot of history in this place. Lots of things. This building is where all the big get-togethers happen in. This building, I think, is fully restored. I don't think they're doing anything else besides maintenance on this building. But, yeah. In the back, that is currently the office for the society. And again, the only information I have on this place, because I haven't been up here to really talk to anybody, is what is going to be on the plaque. But that is the front. You can see where the original building was, and I'm assuming an addition or the tavern keeper's home. But this was established in 1762. It's also the headquarters. The business office for the Historic Preservation Trust of Berks County is in the back. Location of the old well. It's a pump now. That's the side view of the building. And here's the plaque. You guys can read it. I'll kind of touch base on stuff. But that's the early 20th century southwestern perspective view of the White Horse Tavern after it was converted to apartments. So this was apartments at one time. And we're kind of looking at it. We'd be in the road looking at it, but that's the same angle. Down here you got the restored front room of the 1763 Tavern. let's see here. Cliff Notes. The daughter of Mons Jones and Ingeborg Jones, they started this tavern with her husband, a Swedish settler, Marcus Hewland. It shows up on the infamous 1776 British spy map of the southeastern Pennsylvania. Let's see. As a wayside inn, the White Horse Tavern accommodated teamsters, livestock drovers, stage drivers, and other travelers on the King's roads connecting Philadelphia to Reading and Oley. Let's see. The White Horse Inn played an important historical role in the Amity region as a civic, social, economic, and cultural gathering place. During the Revolutionary War, it was a primary assembly site for militia musters. So the militia would muster here during the Rev War. Samuel Jones, grandson of Mons Jones, mustered here with a local battalion in August of 1776 before marching to Philadelphia. The inn was also a polling place, a venue for auctions of real and personal property, and the meeting place of the Amity Township Society for the Preservation of Horse Thievery. So, taverns were always where you wound up going. So, here's a side view. Most likely where the actual well was. Again, not sure where they had the stables or anything like that, but I would hazard to guess the stables were back here somewhere. Because you would want the horses stabled. That is the back side of the tavern. And then the additions. That is the headquarters for the preservation. And right up above it, you can see that was another addition to the tavern. If you look closely on the wall, you could see it was in between those two windows. It was a window and a window there. Those were probably windows during the days of it being an apartment. And then they closed them back up during restoration. And the windows you can see are 9/9. What that means is there's basically 9 squares on the top, 9 squares on the bottom. That's a way of telling how old windows are. Like when you hear people talk about, oh, it's an old house, it still has the original windows, it's 6/6. They don't make windows like that anymore. So there's always little things you can do to tell the age of stuff. But yeah, that is Morlatton Village. Like I said, there's probably a lot of history under the ground here. I don't know what kind of archaeological work they've done up in this area. But yeah, these weren't the only buildings here. I can tell you there was probably cookhouses, probably stables back there or on the side here. You know, outhouses. You know, a lot of history in just this small area. Like standing on this road right here, you gotta wonder, how many colonial troops marched past here? How many times did the militia muster here during the Rev War? You know, did famous figures come here? Did Washington pass by here? You know, Washington was known to go to Boyertown. He was known in the area over at Pennypacker Mills. So it's a fair bet to say he did pass right in front of the White Horse Tavern. Did he go in there? Who knows? I don't have all the information. Like I said, I haven't spoken to people, but, you know, I wanted to share some of these buildings. I hope everybody enjoyed it. You can come out here yourself and visit and take a look at them. Talk to the people if you see them here. I somehow always come when there's nobody around. Talk to them. Maybe they'll give you tours inside. You know, see what's what. But thank you for watching the video and dealing with my the way I make my videos. I just kind of drone on. So have a wonderful time.